Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a really quick lesson on AI realism, and I want to show you a realism mistake that almost everybody overlooks. When people talk about realism, they usually focus on faces. They'll spend hours talking about skin texture, freckles, pores, lighting, camera settings, and all the things that make a character look realistic. Those things matter, but realism doesn't live only in the face. Sometimes realism lives in the objects. Take a look at this image. At first glance, it looks pretty convincing. The lighting works, the bar environment feels believable, Sloan looks realistic. But something is wrong. Look at the drink. The ice cube is almost perfect. The edges are sharp. It's floating near the top of the drink. The cube looks freshly generated rather than physically present. And notice the glass itself. It's completely dry. No condensation. No moisture. No evidence that the drink is actually cold. This is one of the most common AI realism problems I see. The image looks realistic until you start looking at the physical behavior of the objects inside the scene. Real drinks don't behave this way. Real ice melts. Real drinks interact with meltwater. Real glasses collect condensation. And once your brain notices those missing details, the illusion starts to break. So in the next example, we're going to fix nothing except the drink. Same character, same composition, same lighting, same environment. We're only going to change the physics. Now let's look at the corrected version. You'll notice something immediately. I intentionally pushed the glass closer to the foreground for this demonstration, so the realism changes would be easier to see. The character hasn't changed, the lighting hasn't changed, the environment hasn't changed. What changed is the physical behavior of the drink. Look at the ice cube. The sharp edges are gone. The cube has softened and begun to melt. It no longer looks like a perfect geometric object sitting on top of the liquid. Instead, it looks like it's actually been sitting in the glass for a while. Now look at the outside of the glass. Notice the condensation. Notice the moisture. Notice how the glass now feels cold. What's interesting is that most viewers won't consciously identify these details. They won't stop and say, "The ice cube physics are more accurate." Instead, their brain simply accepts the image as more believable. That's one of the secrets of realism. Realism isn't usually created by dramatic changes. It's created by small physical truths. A melting ice cube, condensation on a cold glass, natural reflections, accurate shadows, tiny details that tell the viewer's brain that what they're seeing could exist in the real world. Now let's take a quick look at the prompt changes that made this happen. So what changed? Actually, not very much. Prompt change number 1 was replacing the perfect ice cube with a realistically half-melted ice cube. Prompt change number 2 was adding visible condensation to the outside of the glass. And prompt change number 3 was making sure the condensation stayed on the glass only. That's it. 3 small changes. No new lighting, no new character, no new environment, just better physical behavior. And that's often where realism comes from. Not dramatic changes, but small details that convince the viewer's brain that what they're looking at could exist in the real world. If you learned something useful about realism today, let me know in the comments below. And if there is a specific realism topic you'd like me to cover in a future video, I'd love to hear your ideas. This channel is all about practical techniques that make AI images and videos feel more believable. So we'll be covering a lot more examples like this. Coming up soon, we're also going to take a look at the new Higgsfield integration inside Adobe and explore what those tools can do for creators. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. By the way, a quick pro tip on the tools. In HeyGen, for standard close-up talking headshots, I've found that version 4 works perfectly and keeps everything snappy. However, for more complex compositions, like this one, with the glass in the foreground, I noticed version 4's lip syncing could get a little jittery. When I switched to version 5, the stability locked in, and the movement became incredibly smooth. If you're dealing with more involved framing, definitely try making that switch.